Alaric, Stormwatch, Duskthorn. The sun, filtered through stained glass, warmed Alaric's face. He sat upon the obsidian throne, not in command, but amongst the refuse. Not gold and jewels adorned his chambers, but meticulously categorized waste. The shimmering piles of discarded enchantments, failed potions, and broken automatons were his kingdom's lifeblood, its peculiar form of wealth. He, Alaric Duskthorn, Stormwatch to some, was not a conqueror, but a curator of chaos. Years he'd spent perfecting the art of magical waste management, transforming blight into, well, slightly less blight. It was comfortable, predictable. A melancholy order in a world drowning in discarded power. But comfort bred a hollow ache. Alaric didn't desire power, nor glory. He longed for understanding. The origins of the waste, the purpose behind the endless outpouring of discarded magic. The royal archives held scrolls detailing methods of containment, purification, even limited reuse, but nothing explained the source. Legend spoke of the Great Sundering, a cataclysm that shattered a previous age, leaving behind only scraps of forgotten power. He wanted to know what was before. He needed to understand the silence that preceded the storm of refuse. He journeyed to the Rustlands, a territory beyond the kingdom's borders, choked with the most virulent forms of magical decay. It was a place where even the air tasted like regret. He wasn't seeking a solution, but a guide, Old Man Tiber, a hermit rumored to have lived through the Sundering itself. The journey was arduous, the very land fighting against his advance, twisting his spells and corroding his armor. When he finally reached Tiber's crumbling tower, it wasn't a welcoming sight, but a testament to endurance, a fragile defiance against the encroaching ruin. Tiber didn't offer answers, only tests. Days melted into weeks as Alaric was forced to adapt to the Rustland's hostile energies. He learned to weave spells not of creation or control, but of acceptance, of channeling decay instead of combating it. He discovered that the waste wasn't merely discarded magic, but failed magic, attempts at power that had fractured and broken. Tiber taught him to listen to the silence within the chaos, to perceive the echoes of intention behind each ruined spell. He wasn't mastering the Rustlands, he was becoming a part of it. Finally, Tiber revealed what he knew, or claimed to. He spoke of a civilization obsessed with achieving perfection, a people who believed they could transcend mortality through magic. The Sundering wasn't a cataclysm, but a self-inflicted wound, a desperate attempt to sever a flawed creation. Tiber offered Alaric a fragment of the original source code, a single, shimmering glyph said to hold the key to understanding the pre-Sundering world. Alaric, elated, took the glyph, believing he had finally found the answer he sought. He returned to his kingdom, confident he could unlock its secrets. The glyph, however, was a lure. Its activation didn't reveal enlightenment, but amplified the waste. The kingdom was overwhelmed. The meticulously categorized piles began to coalesce, forming monstrous entities born of failed ambition. The very foundations of Alaric's kingdom trembled under the weight of the amplified refuse. He hadn't understood the past, he had unleashed its fury. The price of his knowledge wasn't merely ruin, but the complete annihilation of his carefully constructed order. He had sought to understand failure, and instead, become its catalyst. Alaric, stripped of his kingdom, returned to the obsidian throne, now a crumbling ruin amidst a sea of waste. He hadn't conquered the problem, he'd simply accelerated its course. He sat amongst the debris, the weight of his failure crushing him. The sun still filtered through the broken stained glass, but the warmth was gone, replaced by a chilling emptiness. He was no longer a curator, but a witness to the end. But something had changed. The despair wasn't paralyzing, but clarifying. He understood now. The waste wasn't a problem to be solved, but a condition to be accepted. The pre-Sundering civilization hadn't failed because of a lack of power, but because of an obsession with control. He abandoned the futile pursuit of understanding the past and focused on navigating the present, not as a king, but as a shepherd, guiding what remained through the storm of refuse. He had lost his kingdom, but found a purpose, not in preventing decay, but in embracing it, and finding beauty within the ruins.